So as a serious lifter, you are faced with two paths. The natural path, grind for every gain, good and honest work, or the path of enhancement, where you grow like a freaking superhero. You see, often the latter is very complicated and expensive to do in the healthiest way possible, so you mitigate all the health risks that come with it, and it's also banned in tested federations. But there is a new phenomenon that allows natural lifters to get more jacked, stronger, faster than before. So today, we're going to be breaking down peptides, comprehensively looking at them and seeing if they're the new cheat code. SARMs, steroids, and now peptides. So you inject something, it's like a text message that goes to your brain. Your brain's like, "Aight, motherfucker, you gotta start creating this shit."
Ozempic, you can get a lot of that wastage, that Ozempic phase. So the Essendon Football Club, they got done massively a few years ago for using peptides, that it's almost impossible to detect them.
When they test me, there's no BPC in me. I mean, that's all I'm saying. This is a fit. What do you guys think? Is it well put together, or is it just a classic gab? Go into the wardrobe, pick 3 random items, spin around and walk out of the house.
Yeah, pretty drippy. Prob's not the best for the gym though.
So for this video, I thought I'd bring in the big guns, and it is actually a guy I went to school with. I know, weird. School was a very long time ago. We're both 2 people from the same year at school. We're doing kind of different things. Ryleigh is his name, and he's a big YouTuber, actually specialized in gaming, but you wouldn't really know it because he doesn't advertise it much. We've kept in touch, hit a few gym sessions, and he's actually extremely knowledgeable when it comes to the world of enhancement, pharmacology, peptides, other sorts of exogenous hormones, and he's actually a person I go to a lot when I need some sort of information. I wanted to do a video on peptides properly and get some facts and information and just all the good stuff out to you guys, and I thought let's do it justice with the absolute wizard of information, Ryleigh. So let's cut to the chase and see what he has to say.
Very good to see ya.
See ya.
Welcome, welcome.
I'm bearing gifts for you.
Oh, fuck yeah,
My parents taught me never come empty-handed, so I don't know if you take creatine.
I do. I actually ran out, so this is perfect.
Yep, and I've got some hydration for you.
Oh, unreal.
These are the nicest tasting things in the world.
Yeah,
so,
awesome. I've never actually had these, to be honest.
Let me know how it tastes, because I reckon this is the best flavour out there.
Cheers.
Bro.
Oh, that fucking sucks, man. No, I'm joking. It's amazing.
This guy's a YouTuber, you can tell.
No, that's unreal. Shit's on Prime any day.
No, it actually does, and it's like minerals and stuff, way more legit. Righty, I'm gonna explain like who you are and what you do, because you're a bit of a mystery. You don't really advertise like publicly on your actual name. It's just like an alias.
Yeah.
So people wouldn't actually know, like they'd see you on the street and unless they're tapped into gaming and stuff. So what's like your brief synopsis on what you do?
My channel's called Major Kill. I'm a full-time YouTuber, and I talk about Warhammer lore, which a lot of people find very strange and jarring, because I'm also super into fitness, supplement, you know, getting absolutely blind on a weekend. So it's always like a very funny mix. And yeah, that's what I've been doing for the last 7 years. I'm moving more into like the fitness space a bit more. I'm launching my own supplement company, as I've been talking to you about. I'm actually going to be our #1 affiliate. Which
we'll
is
chat about
exciting.
that in the session. Before you watch the fucking thing, none of this is gospel. This is all a social experiment. We're going to have a Derek more plates, more dates disclaimer at the front here. Do your own research. You're not us. You're not Ryleigh. And speak to a doctor or something like that. This is not personalized financial advice.
Yeah, this is not financial advice. Definitely health advice though.
While I'm doing this, bro, do you want to tell us what a peptide is?
Sorry, I was just fascinated by my lats feeling themselves for the first time. So peptide, I guess there's a lot of misconceptions because a lot of people associate peptides with steroids because they both use needles, they're both performance enhancing drugs. And that's why despite like their amazing application, like it's only in the last couple of years people have even talked about them as anything other than some sort of weird steroidy thing. Basically, they're just amino acids that naturally occur in the body, but they've obviously figured out how to put it in a powder that you can then reconstitute and inject into yourself. And now it's like, I reckon it's put forward medicine and all that sort of thing, like very far ahead. Basically, when you inject like testosterone, for example, you're injecting testosterone. When you're injecting a peptide, you're just injecting an instruction to your body to do something naturally. So for BPC 157, it's a healing peptide. You're not injecting healing enzymes. Like a lot of people, they'll have a banged ankle and they'll inject a peptide into the ankle, which doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't just then spread out. It goes all the way up to your pituitary gland. Your pituitary then sends signals to your ankle to heal itself.
Right.
That's why when you do peptides, you just do in your stomach or your ass or whatever.
So local injection doesn't actually...
Sub-Q under the skin. And if you stop doing peptides, like if you stop doing testosterone injections, your natural testosterone is like, it's gone. No LH, no FSH, no whatever. But for peptides, if you stop, it was never replacing anything. It was just supplementing your body's natural processes. You can stop peptides whenever you want as well, and there's no fall off a cliff effect.
I think this is good because you're super knowledgeable about it, and honestly, I'm not just claiming to be natural and acting like like an idiot. I actually have a very basic understanding of this stuff. In my opinion, you've got like, in the world of taboo gym cheat codes, you've got like 3 things. You've got SARMs, steroids, and now peptides. From my very basic understanding of pharmacology and all these sorts of exogenous hormones and things, steroids is literally, you're putting a hormone that's gonna have some sort of anabolic effect that isn't actually created in your body. You're pumping extra in. So it's like fucking big fuel reserves in there, just like, and it's just gonna, you know, it's not actually in there to begin with.
Yeah, so your body doesn't naturally produce like Anavar or Tren or whatever. And when you put that in your body's natural production will be like, whoa, I don't need to make tests anymore. And that's why people, when they get off, a lot of them, they go from, you know, king of the world to zero. The thing people don't realize about peptides is they're actually not very good for putting on muscle. There's no muscle peptides. Does it make sense? There's no anabolic peptides. People say, Ryleigh, like, give me a peptide that will make me big. I'm like,
From what I understand, they help with like a secondary thing that might help.
Yeah, exactly.
Your
so like,
gains.
let's say you're injured, so you can't bench press, thus your chest suffers or whatever. With a healing peptide stack, you can heal your chest up to 5 to 10 times faster than normal. Because of that, you'll then get better gains because you can actually lift. Or you don't have to lift light because you're recovering. Likewise, CJC and ipamorelin will help you sleep better, and that helps you recover and put on muscle faster. So it's all like peripheral sort of stuff. Like you've got the lifting, the protein, the creatine, and steroids if you want to use them as like the anabolic side of things. And then peptides can be that extra layer of, okay, better sleep, better recovery, better focus, better energy, that sort of thing. A lot of people look really good when they get on peptides because they lose fat. So you've got like fat loss peptides like Ozempic, semaglutide, which is the same thing, tirzepatide, retatrutide. They will make you
There's all these sorts
fat.
of tides, and it's got my head spinning like
anything
this.
Tide is like fat loss. That's like a way I kind of think about it. So that's just the stuff that makes you not eat, basically, or makes you more insulin efficient. Or I see peptides as like hacks. Like they kind of hack different parts of your body to do something it was already doing, but 100 times better.
So from my understanding, as I said, steroids, something that's not there, putting extra in your body, or you're putting something that wasn't there, like as we said, a Tren or an Anavar. Whereas an analogy that I've seen that's really good is a peptide is like a text message. So you inject something, it's like a text message that goes to your brain. Your brain's like, alright, motherfucker, we got to start creating this shit. So it's subtle, but it's like more of a signaling process.
Dead set, You can't make a peptide that your body can't do itself. Like if you invent a peptide that makes you shoot lightning out of your dick hole, like, your body will be like, well, I don't know how to do that. So it's like, it won't do it. You know what I mean? Whereas the healing, your body normally heals. Like your body produces growth hormone, your body does all these things naturally, but peptides just make it turbocharged.
And then there's just SARMs, which I know what it stands for, selective androgen receptor modulators, something like that. That's pretty good if that's off the top of my head.
I think that's right.
I swear I've never taken them, bro. But I've just heard they're like dumb as fuck.
Yeah, they are.
It's like, approved for usage on rats.
So I actually have done a few SARMs and they are very dumb. They're basically like, they're very, very experimental. They've only been out for a couple of years. They're invented as like steroids without side effects, which just didn't happen. They have all the side effects of steroids.
And they're just less effective.
And they absolutely destroy your liver. Because they're oral, they're methylate in your liver. Your liver enzymes will skyrocket, even on ostarine, even on the low-key SARMs. SARMs are basically for people that are just too scared to inject. And so they're willing to like use experimental drugs with no real clinical data and will destroy your liver, basically.
So like, if you could simply put how they're different to a peptide, because people might be thinking what you just said. People think it's a steroid without the side effects, but like, isn't that the same as peptides? Like, how would you explain the difference?
Peptides they're so different, it's hard to even kind of quantify, but peptides are instructions that tell your body to naturally do something. They're just amino acids. You can't overdose on peptides because everything's filtered through your pituitary. If you inject a liter of peptide, don't recommend you do that. You will probably, I mean, I might need to fact check this, but like you're not going to die. You'll probably just feel shit. If you inject a liter of testosterone, I'm pretty sure you're going to die straight away. It's not even comparable because one's like anabolic things, derivatives of testosterone. They shut you down naturally. They have all this host of side effects. It affects everyone differently. Whereas peptides are very specific, targeted things. You're not exogenously injecting a chemical. You're injecting an instruction. So the text message metaphor was really good because you're just saying, hey, can you do this? And then your brain's like, yeah, no worries, I can do that.
So it seems as though like SARMs and steroids, although they're maybe a little bit different, they're kind of in their own realm.
They're in its own. SARMs and steroids are like here, and then you've got like, you know, like other stuff that's kind of similar, like, but different category, like the clenbuterol and diuretics and cardarine and enclomiphene, like performance enhancing medication. And then peptides are like its entire own thing. Yeah, it's just like a completely different bubble. The only real similarity is that you inject both of them. And to be honest, these days they're figuring out how to make oral peptides. So that might even be a thing of the past.
Interesting. I didn't usually gas up like when JPG did those single arm ones. I'm pretty sure in terms of EMG data, this is like 56% more effective than those JPG one arm lat pull downs, which is crazy because everyone was doing those in like 2021. Luca has convinced me of this new low volume training though. I've always been like getting the rubbish junk volume out of there. Now I'm even more like intentional. Like I'll go 2 working sets, 4 to 8 kind of reps. If I've like the weight's too light, I might do 10 to 12. I am a big believer in just like going really high quality stimulating stuff.
Yeah, I've definitely moved more into a, aim for those rep ranges that are proven. But I just kind of, I live to enjoy it now because when I'm really busy with work, I need to make sure I'm enjoying whatever I'm doing when I'm not working.
Yeah.
So I'll do a lot of compoundy stuff mixed with supersets and just have fun with it. So I'm very happy with my physique now. I'm not too worried about putting on extra size or anything. Just like 45 minutes, enjoyable, hit what I want to hit.
Is there a definitive list of how many peptides there are these days?
Nah, there's thousands.
Far out.
But in terms of like peptides that actually are produced, studied, effective, and actually do anything useful, I'd say there's like, this might be an ignorant comment, I'd say like 50 that are sort of, all right, these are the 50 that have various applications, and there's a lot of niche ones as well, like some people that have thyroid issues, there's like a specific thyroid peptide, and you'd only ever use that if you had a thyroid problem. You wouldn't just like gung-ho that one. Yeah, the big ones are kind of, obviously the BPC and TB500 are the healing ones. They're the ones, yeah, you use them together, like the BPC heals and the TB reduces inflammation. So they call it the Wolverine stack. That one's great for me personally. Do you know bursitis? It's like a inflammation of the bursal sac in your shoulder. It's very common with lifters.
I remember you said you had a shoulder.
And the first time I healed from it, took a year and a half. I couldn't bench, had to change all my training. Like I wanted to shoot myself.
I remember you had to bench press with like a towel
I had a towel because my ROM, if I went to here, it would re-inflame it. So I had to reduce my ROM and it was just shit. And then when I got the same issue and I used the Wolverine stack, it was healed within a week. It was fucking crazy. Like, and I've got mates like my cousin, he had an accident on the work site, couldn't close his hand. 2 weeks on the Wolverine stack, back to pull-ups, benching. So there's people living there with like banged knees, banged lower backs, can't lift their kids, you know, can never do their sport again. That if they just did this for like 2 to 4 weeks, they would probably be the most like healed they've ever been in their life.
It's pretty phenomenal. So you've got healing realm of things. So you got BPC 157 and the TP.
Yeah, TB 500.
500. Then you got like weight loss and appetite suppression, which is
so that's the tirzepatide's my favorite. I find that's a good balance of like weight loss but no side effects or low side effect profile. Ozempic, you can get a lot of like wastage. You know that Ozempic face?
Yeah, I've heard like there's like atrophy within the body. I mean, if you're fucking 400 kilos, then it's probably good.
But if you're just using it to like help stay slim, probably not a good idea. So I find that one like the shit version. I think if you're on Ozempic, look at tirzepatide. And then there's retatrutide, which is like really powerful, but it's like, in my opinion, too much. Like I've got a mate that's on it, he's losing like 3 kilos a week, and if he drinks too much Diet Coke, he'll like throw up. There's too much liquid in his stomach, his body rejects it.
People were recommending me I do retatrutide for my prep.
I would say tirzepatide, in my opinion. And look, everyone responds differently.
Do you want the 20? I did the...
I'll just stay on the 15 to be honest.
Go for it.
I've found tirzepatide's I've been on it for a while. I only take a tiny bit just so I don't get like midnight hunger cravings, and I've had no issues at all.
Far out.
So it's been a great one. Helps also, there's studies that come out say it helps reduce Alzheimer's percentage, because they're saying a lot of your brain health actually is linked to your gut health.
So
if your
100%.
gut's more insulin efficient, you're eating less shit, you're gonna get better results in that regard. Also, Viagra helps reduce Alzheimer's as well. So.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. All you ED boys.
Yeah, we've got
big brain.
We've got healing, we've got weight loss. Then what else is there in terms of peptides?
Growth hormone peptides. So do you know much about growth hormone?
I know that growth hormone makes you look like a silverback gorilla if you take it exogenously.
So that's the funny thing. It's kind of similar to what I was saying before. So you can take HGH or growth hormone exogenously, or you can take peptides that make your body produce more growth hormone naturally. I've done both, and I find the peptide just better. It's more smooth, like it releases more chains of the growth hormone, because the growth hormone's like a big kind of chain of helixes.
Yep.
And often when people take synthetic, it doesn't actually cover the entire chain. So whereas if you take CJC 1295 and ipamorelin, it releases the whole chain. So that's where you get the better sleep, better alertness, better focus. I've actually had mates use CJC and ipamorelin to get off antidepressants because it's got quite a nice mood and mental health effect as well. So that's been really cool. That's like a pretty unheard of usage. Yeah, so the growth hormone one's just great for general longevity. Yep. It also triggers lipolysis, which is like helps you lose stubborn fat and visceral fat.
Yep.
And then you've kind of got brain peptides as well.
Yeah, that's what we were, cognitive power.
Yeah, the
Limitless pills.
limitless stuff.
Yeah.
That's Solank and Samax. So Max is kind of just like focus and energy, but it can be a little bit too like caffeine-y. But if you pair it with Solank, that's like anti-stress, anti-anxiety, mood stabilizing. You combine them and you end up with like focus, energy, but also like smooth, low stress. When I was going through some mental health stuff earlier this year, and Solank and Samax were like, for me, combined with therapy and blah, 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 like the biggest thing that got me like kind of out of that negative cycle of getting out of my own head and kind of getting back on track. Yeah, those ones are pretty incredible as well.
Would you say that's like the main basis of things to cover, or is there like other sectors, maybe like really specific applications? But for the average punter watching the video, is that like the main categories?
Yeah, they're the main ones. There's a few other niche really cool ones like GHK-CU, really good for your skin and hair health. And then there's Kispeptin, which increases testosterone, but I wouldn't really look at it as like a TRT alternative. There's a lot of like studies coming out that it increases testosterone, but not by much, and then it can like dampen a few of your receptors. So not every peptide is like a magic bullet. Not every peptide is superior to the medical equivalent. I think if you wanted to get a boost in testosterone for fertility or just trial running it or whatever, you're better off taking in clomiphene or something like that.
I'm trying to progressively overload this one. Do it once a week.
You got another show this year?
Nah, I'm not going to compete till next year. Just naturally, as you said, like we hit a session when I was probably 2 months into my prep, and I was looking decently lean. To get that lean, you feel shit, and it's like it's a really hard trade-off.
Your blood work when you were like about to compete was terrible.
Exactly.
You know,
that's just unhealthy if you're sustaining that.
Like bodybuilding is such an unhealthy sport, because even enhanced bodybuilding, where you can like replace and supplement a lot of things you've lost, because it's untested. Everyone's like blasting tren and doing this stuff. Like you could be like, oh, I'm just gonna do my Masteron and MPP, and you don't stand a chance against like Henry the Hog, who's
Henry the Hog
with a fucking gram of tren. Like, you know what I mean? Some people just do not care about their health.
So it's like the actual competing in bodybuilding, it's not healthy, natural or unnatural. Like they're both fucking...
Yeah, they're both fucked.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I'm like, I looked sick, and I couldn't even see how sick I looked in the moment, because I had the worst body dysmorphia, but I look back on photos and I'm like, holy shit, my abs.
That's the issue, I guess, with the natural bodybuilding. They want you to be so conditioned 4 weeks before your peak weight. That's when you look like movie star, like Zac Efron, like healthy but shredded to the gills.
Yeah,
and I think I saw you just before your show, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was like, it's tough when it's your first time competing, and I take full responsibility for it. I don't think it was anyone's fault, but I did think I looked better 6 weeks before. I also felt a lot better because I could tell my hormones were fucked that last 6 weeks. And before that, I actually felt pretty good, to be honest. Like I went to a music festival, like I was chilling, and I think that's where I looked my best. So now when I compete next year, I think I got way more information and know how my body responds to that kind of thing. So
yeah, nice.
Do you think you'd ever do like a bodybuilding show or anything?
Nah, I considered it before I started dabbling in different PEDs, but I was naturally like pretty hypergonadal anyway. Like I know your natural test is like in the 900s. My natural test was only 300. Right. So I was like really battling to begin with. So if I ever did anything like to shred, I would just dumpster it. Like, so then that's kind of what started me getting into like PEDs and learning about, okay, how can I improve my testosterone? Like I learned about clomiphene, because I didn't want to do TRT because I was young and stuff. So I was like, okay, clomiphene, HCG, Nolvadex, all these different things. And by the end of it, I was like, fuck, I'm taking like 8 pills. Yeah. Can't be good for me. I'm better off just jabbing testosterone. So I got a doctor's script and everything like that. Got it all approved and stuff. So that's been great as well. And it's like the more you learn about your body, it's like pretty cool, and you see like, okay, it's actually having the muscle and not muscle wasting, and having the bone density that's not wasting away from low test. So much healthier than if I was just to be stubborn and be like, no, I'm like never gonna do that. Yeah, and I think there definitely is a difference. Like if, you know, I'm 35 and my test is like this and I'm not feeling like the usual version of myself, then it's definitely something I'll consider. And I think there's a whole lot of people, or men in particular, who've just completely lost all ambition, all drive, all focus. They're not out there doing things, and they would probably greatly benefit from actually getting their bloods done. Yeah, big time. Either doing natural things to boost their testosterone, and if that doesn't work because your genetics or something's fucked, then looking at TRT. Well, you see like some guys that are 50, 60 and they look amazing. Some guys like at 30 look like absolute shit. Yeah. I'd say like a massive part of that is testosterone. Not like genetic testosterone, just like lifestyle choices based based on. Everyone, let's say, starts between the 400 to 800 range. You're a bit of an outlier, obviously.
Yeah.
Technically, I am as well in the shit way. And if they just maintain that level through good health habits, whatever, you can stay young and fresh all the way until your 80s,
Definitely.
90s these days. Do some tricep ones now.
Yeah, for sure. I might try, I don't know if you've seen that guy on Instagram, his name's Tonino. He's got like his natty and his triceps, so like it's fucked. Like it's the most crook looking. His triceps are like my quads, but probably even crazier. And he's like 6'2" as well.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, he's nuts.
Yeah, show me what he does.
Keep him tucked by your torso and then just extend.
Yeah.
This is pretty light, but just...
Yeah,
that's the thing, dude. If I was to hop on gear, I would be too scared. Like, I'd be dotting every I, every T, getting a doctor. Like, my biggest fear is dying early, right?
Yeah.
And some people are just like, 1 month in the gym, yeah, fucking hop on, bro.
No, it's so dumb. Like, so as we were saying before, like, I was coaching some guy on the use of peptides. I think he had an injury he wanted to heal from. And I looked at his blood work and I was like, oh, you're on steroids, I can tell. Like, you know, da, da, da. And I was like, mate, your liver's fucked, your cholesterol's fucked, your estrogen's fucked. Like, what supplements are you taking to try and protect your organs while you're on cycle? And he was like, oh, like creatine. So it just shows people just don't know. Like, you can take a lot of different supplements to reduce the risk of any of that sort of thing, from like dangerous to managed risk. Like, you can take things to protect your liver, like milk thistle, NAC, Tudka are all shown to reverse alcohol damage, reverse like steroid damage. You can have like a pristine liver binge drinking on steroids using these sort of supplements.
Yeah, interesting.
So people don't realize like natural supplements can actually do so much to protect you.
I've started taking that liver protector one, which
yeah.
we'll talk about the supplement stack soon, but I don't drink and I'm not on gear. So do I have just like the most OP liver ever?
Probably, yeah. If someone stabbed you in the liver, the knife would probably break. People don't appreciate the power of natural supplements in conjunction with all this sort of thing. Because they probably think, oh, like supplements, they're the 1%ers.
Yeah.
Like, nah, like you can go from bad cholesterol, bad liver to good cholesterol, good liver with just supplements. Like we've got, or even those natural test boosting supplements these days are so much better than they were. The company like Natty Plus that obviously we were talking about before, our test stack increased one of our subjects' testosterone by 51% naturally, from 22 to 33, which is crazy results because he wasn't even hypergonadal.
Yeah.
He was already like, had great testosterone. So people just really need to, if they're thinking about getting into peptides, gear, anything, there's so many other steps they can do beforehand to actually get the results they're after before they have to do something more extreme.
I think I've always been interested in that stuff because I've always...
This is fucked.
I know, it's good, really isolated, yeah.
Oh my God.
But I've always been interested in like vitamins and natural little things I can do to optimize. Yeah, lately I've really been getting into, you know, my full pill divider with a nighttime and a morning stack, and it's really good because Ryleigh and his friend Joe, it's been in the pipeline for a while, but started a vitamin company. I'm not sure if it'll be out yet when this video drops, but we did a photo shoot the other day and I've started taking the vitamins, and a lot of the stuff I was already taking, so it just integrates perfectly because I no longer have to be iHerb Max. I can actually support the bros here and be a part of something that's growing. And a lot of the stuff is like extra stuff that I can now take. So like the horny goat weed and the magnesium glycinate's really high. Like you've dosed it. You haven't cheaped out on the doses at all, which I've noticed. I think the vitamin D is 1200 IU, which during winter is so OP. When they messaged me about it, I'm like, oh yeah, can I see the breakdowns? And I was like, holy shit, like these guys haven't skipped out on anything. And I can tell it's like a bit of a passion project for you guys because it's like, it's literally you not wanting to have to buy it yourself. It's like...
Well, we made the brand because we were like, why doesn't someone just do this? Yeah. And I was like, we could just do it. Like, so basically the idea was so many supplements. Like if you're really into supplements, you end up taking, you got 20 bottles, 20 stuffs, you're just like, what the fuck am I doing? Yeah. So what if you just compress them all into their own category? So you get 3 supplements that do the same rough thing, maybe protect liver, lower cholesterol, whatever, crush them into one pill and then just take that. Saving time, money, convenience, the dosing's great. So yeah, that was the idea behind Natty Plus. And,
it is really, because I was taking like close to 20 pills before, and I'll still probably take like a few select other ones, but now it's like, bro, my pill divider's like empty because there's only like 8 or 7 things in there now because I'm not taking the multivitamin at the moment. I'm finishing off my other one, and I also eat heaps of fruits and veggies, but it's pretty damn insane. And I think it's hard though because most people are just brainwashed by like, oh yeah, this at face value does this for me, but they're not actually looking into the literature and the nuance of it, which is why like really good that you're into it. You know, I'm into it and I like sharing this kind of content with you guys. And for me, when you guys said this is the project we're doing, I'm like, oh yeah, like I've been with EHP for like 2 and a bit years, but I've always wanted like a sponsor for vitamins and stuff. So I'll have all my codes are anabolic, which you guys run up the codes. So you'll see some stuff on it basically, but it should be pretty sick. And I know a bunch of you guys will be keen for it because it'll be a lot better value and a lot more effective than the absolute dog shit people are selling today.
Yeah. I do want to preface as well, obviously like I've gassed up peptides a lot. Probably a good question to ask is like, are there risks? Are there side effects? This sort of thing. I personally haven't seen or experienced anyone that's had any allergy issues because peptides are naturally occurring in the body. Saying that though, not every peptide is suitable for every person. There's a lot of like niche little things, like my mother, for example, she has like, I forgot the name of it, but there's something in your stomach lining, hers is slightly enlarged, and there's some studies to suggest that TB500 can actually enlarge them further. It's not like a crazy sort of thing, but it's different peptides sort of can necessarily be suitable for different people. I did a gene test, it shows that I methylate 70% slower than normal, which means I just process toxins out of my body slower, which is annoying because I'm also binge drink all the time. So figure that one out. But some peptides actually slow down methylation even more. So you always got to be cautious of that. Some people say that BPC can kind of give them, it's like this condition, it makes you kind of zombie-like. Have you heard of it? It's like...
Not like chronic fatigue or something?
No, it's kind of like what some people get when they take finasteride. It's called like something. But anyway, basically, the biggest thing is like make sure you do your own research before you inject chemicals into your own body. No shit. A lot of these peptides have been around for decades and a ton of research. Some are really new and interesting and exciting, but haven't had decades of research behind them. So this is definitely isn't like an endorsement to go start jabbing yourself with random chemicals. This is more so just like an education piece of, okay, like that's interesting. That could be suitable for me. Do I talk to a doctor? Can I access it in my country? Because some countries are very embracing of it. You can get a script for it. Others are very
slow. Australia.
Others are very Australian.
Oh, it's nice. This is super smooth.
It is a good one, this one.
I can feel my chesticles tingling already, bro. So you are a really good environmentally conscious guy because you got a hybrid car and you got
plugins.
An electric. Yeah, it's literally, it's fucked.
So I guess a lot of people are probably wondering, obviously I'm not a lawyer, but what's the legalities of peptides in sport, as well as in general legal and whatnot. So with sport, they're considered a PED, which added to like the massive stigma behind peptides. It's the reason why a lot of people lump them in with steroids, because they're like, okay, if I take this, I'm not natural anymore. And that's, a scary thing to contemplate. But the good thing about peptides, or the sneaky thing about peptides, is their half-life is so short that it's almost impossible to detect them. Also, the way they interact with your body is really hard to test for. So the Essendon Football Club in Australia, they got done massively a few years ago for using peptides. They were using BPC 157 so that they could recover faster from injury and just in general, and they only got done because of a whistleblower, not because it actually came up on any tests. So in terms of that, it's illegal to use, but if done smart, it's extremely hard to detect. Not saying do that, but in terms of like if you're on gear, it's so obvious. It's like a lighthouse beacon. Even without doing your bloods, just how you look and stuff. With peptides, it's like, I'd say pretty much impossible.
That's probably why the Essendon thing took so long, because they didn't have any actual concrete proof.
Well, yeah, they couldn't test for it. Like the way they were doing it with their testing and stuff, like it was just impossible. It literally took like someone seeing it. I don't know if they filmed it or something. It was a while ago, but yeah, it was a whistleblower.
They bore onto that early, bro. That was like, I don't even remember what year, like 2014 or something?
A fun fact, this will be a funny one for the video. So the guy bought this house off. He was one of the guys that supplied Essendon with the peptides.
No way. Yeah, he was like, look at his lips.
I know. He's dead now, but...
Oh, shit.
He died last year.
Was he old age or?
Nah. I don't know. He's a weird guy.
Okay, interesting.
But anyway, so don't sell peptides, kids, otherwise you'll die. That's the story.
That's the other thing, is like people want to get this stuff. How do they get it?
Yeah, so I guess that's the thing about every country's different. In America, you can go online, peptides, boom, 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 enter your credit card, delivered to your door, no dramas.
Amino Asylum, places like that.
Yeah, just wherever. BioNexus. That's when I coach people, I direct them to BioNexus in the US.
Yeah.
Code MAGEKILL, 15% off. But every place is different. Australia's got way tighter laws with everything, supplements, peptides, all these different things. You can get a prescription for most peptides in Australia. Companies like BioVate and another one called Neurogenic, whatever McGiddy, they will basically do a telehealth for you, and then you can get it's kind of like how you get a TIT prescription in Australia.
So it's legal if you get the valid prescription. It's considered a medication. The only problem is many peptides, the ones that are really good, haven't been approved yet, like Selenkin Samax, for example, or they're just so expensive. Like if you want to get a tirzepatide prescription, like you're paying, so much money. So a lot of people are going through the underground lab route. Obviously, I'm not going to ever officially endorse because, I don't want to be responsible for that. But it is like, at the end of the day,
a company it costs them about $5 to $10 to create a peptide.
Yeah.
So if you're paying $500 for a vial, you're getting absolutely ripped off.
Yeah, how much did you say?
Well, if you're getting a tirzepatide prescription, I think it's called Wegovy or something is the official name.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be paying anywhere between $200 to $500 a month, plus something that costs the producer like $10, $15.
It's good that you can actually get it prescribed, but you're getting absolutely rorted at the same time.
Like I know a lot of like suppliers from underground labs, and like fuck, we pay like $8 US for a vial.
Yeah, wow. The margin, and that's the thing. Like, no offense, Australia, and I don't want anyone knocking on my door, but like a lot of this stuff, they just get it approved and then through a medical route and all this, so they can make the most ridiculous amount of revenue off it possible.
Yeah, I know. It's just like that whole big pharma bullshit of like, cool, let's take something that's so easy to make, so cheap, can change people's lives, and let's like market it by 5,000%.
Or ban it.
Or ban it,
yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, legally you can get most of the peptides through that prescription route. You can also go through underground lab route. A lot cheaper, but also not going to be linking any suppliers to that one.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was like, so I officially haven't taken any peptides. It's like if I got a really bad shoulder injury and I couldn't, do these lateral deltoids here, what is stopping an MF from taking some BPC 157 and keeping a little bit hush about it? And then when they test me, there's no BPC in me. I mean, that's all I'm saying. And it's something to think about. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but what's actually stopping me? Nothing. And I'm not admitting to anything. And I haven't actually done it, but yeah.
That's why there's a huge debate about BPC at the moment, because people are like, you've banned something that can save someone's career. Like someone at footy rips an ACL, tears a shoulder out, all this stuff. Career-ending injuries that you could heal, no worries with BPC. No performance benefits. They don't run faster, jump higher, lift heavier. They just heal faster, or they heal from chronic injuries. So that's the whole debate of like, it's like the natty or not debater. It's like, okay, like, yeah, sure, it's currently banned or not natty, or you're injecting it, whatever, but it's like, who really cares about being this like noble natty when if you're crippled and your shoulder's fucked and your sport career ended and you can't pick up your child, or you're going to die 20 years young because your hips
or
displaced.
because you want to take BPC.
Yeah, or because you want to take an amino acid naturally producing in your body that will heal you 10 times faster. Peptides can actually change people's lives. People don't realize that. Like, people will like hobble around for like 30 years and just die in pain when they had this option there the whole time.
Yeah, and they spend thousands of dollars on all these scans and physio.
Rehab.
And that doesn't actually fucking do anything.
Yeah, they get 20% movement back, right?
Yeah, so I know if anyone close to me, and I already do know people that are close to me that face certain things, and I'm like, look, I'm not an expert in this, but look into this. It could be really
big time.
Next time my grandma has a fall.
Yeah, you just come in with the double needle. Just
BPC. Come here, grandma. You know.
You can't run away from me. So in terms of like peptide dosing, there's only like 1 or 2 dose options per peptide. If you take too much of a peptide, it just flushes out the excess. So it's not like you're getting like double power or double fat loss. If you do too little, you're getting a little bit of the effect, but not much. So yeah, and kind of when it does come to dosing, you don't need to like worry too much as long as you're hitting the right range of doses. Like generally for the healing one, there's like a minor healing dose and a major healing dose. For the fat loss, there's like a minor fat loss that takes up hunger cravings, and then there's like an aggressive fat loss dose. So there's a big learning curve to it. Once you kind of figure it out, it's actually not too difficult.
So I guess that leads to the clickbait question of the title. Do I take them?
No one, like, you don't need to take peptides. You're not injured, you've got a great physique regardless. You've clearly shown you've got the willpower and dedication needed to lose weight if you needed to. But, especially as we get older, injuries will come up. You powerlift, probably got some things that are going to pop at some point. There's nothing wrong with doing some BPC and TB here and there to help clear out old injuries. There's nothing wrong with getting on CJC and ipamorelin for general health, well-being, recovery. So as with everyone, it's a personal decision. I wouldn't say you need to do it, but I would say that if you want to do it, then you're not doing yourself too much damage. Yeah,
so to answer the question, I'd say, will I try it in the future? I don't know, but if I do, I'll keep you guys in the loop. For now, I do want to try to get my pro card in natural bodybuilding, and even though I might be able to do that and take peptides and not get detected, I feel like I do have a conscience at the end of the day, and I do take that very seriously with the shit I promote to you guys, the content I put out there. I always want it to be stuff I believe in and I'm actually passionate about. I'm not lying through my teeth and being here's a gambling ad, guys. That's just the type of guy I am. I want to be able to sleep at night, so no, I do not take them, but I do think they can be massively beneficial. I think they're pretty damn cool. I would say the anabolic Gabe recommendation is master, you know, the basic things and stop being a lazy cunt. Like actually nail in your training. So get the anabolic bodybuilding program if you don't know what you're doing. Get your nutrition in check, sleep in check. Other things, don't vape, don't smoke, don't be smashing drugs and drinks and being like, Gab, why aren't I making any progress? Do those things first. But peptides could be an interesting field. Ryleigh, thanks so much for sharing your wisdom, mate.
Of course,
It's been
bro.
awesome.
My pleasure. Good to have you.
Debut on the channel. Thank you very much. And if you guys have any questions or comments or use cases about peptides, please let us know in the comments. I do read all the YouTube comments. And
I'll be reading the comments as well, and if there's a few good questions, I reckon I'll come in and answer them as well.
awesome. We got Dr. Major Kill on the channel to answer the questions. Thanks, bro.